Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm trans. I'm doing some of these videos. This is part three, a bit of history on my life. Excuse me the way I look, but I've got electrolysis in the morning, and you have to let your hair grow a bit before you have it treated. So bear with me, and excuse me because I'm lying in bed, which probably isn't the best place to do a video, but there you go. So I left it on part two where, do you know what I mean, I was living a double lie. I also got married during that time, which is another story. I got married on the pretense of a child being mine, but I also wanted to appear normal. So I went through all that, and she knew about the cross dress and she was fine with it and to start with, but yeah, things just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then it came to light that the child wasn't mine, so we sort of, yeah, it just got messy and messy and messy. At that time, I was taking a lot of time off work because of it, and I was sort of not really seeing my mates. Um, and lucky enough, I met a nice girl called Susie. We hit it off straight away, and then I discovered going out really, and just found out. Step back a bit. So yeah, met Susie. In a fetish club of all places because it was one of the only places I could go to cross dress. And we hit it off straight away. She ended up moving down to my area because I was from Cardiff and she was from where I am now, near Aberystwyth. And yeah, things were things. But when you're given the right to do things, you tend to push it too much, and that's what happened. I'm going to tell this straight. Susie is the only girl I've ever really loved. I mean, everybody else has been a girl that I would like to have been rather than actually physically attracted to him, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's basically, yeah. Me and Susie then got on really well. I went through all the crap of the divorce, and I said all these things back and forth. Obviously, it came out to my parents then because one of the reasons for my divorce was it was described as I was a cross dresser and a pervert. I then went to see a psychiatrist again because I wanted to do it for my own sake. And during that time, I realised I was possibly trans after a conversation with counsellors and stuff. And then with that, me and Susie broke up. I moved here near to where I am now. I stayed with her auntie for a bit and started living full time. And then Susie stayed down there. We sort of didn't speak to each other. It was not a very amicable split. I realised how much I pushed her and stuff like that. But now, I mean, it's another story to catch up later on. Me and Susie have since met up in the last few years and we've become very good friends. Uh, so anyway, yeah, I moved here to transition. I was living full time for 2 years. It was different back then. This was about 20 or 24 years ago. And you had to live full time before you even got considered for hormones. So that's what I did, live full time. Had to go back and forth to Charing Cross in London at the time, from Aberystwyth, which is a hell of a journey by train. I had to visit there 3 times, and I was just due to go on hormones. And because the relationship with my parents was non existent, they hated it. Well, that's the impression I got at the time. I pulled out of it and I stopped and I went back to live in male form, where I got a job. I sort of like got back into DJing by accident. It was quite funny because a friend that I used to play for in Cardiff went in a pub here one day and he turns out he owned it. So he kept on hassling me to come DJ, come DJ, come DJ, and eventually I gave in and started DJing again. So I went back to living as a male. Loads of stupid failed relationships because yet again, gone with the wrong girl because I thought I wanted to appear straight, just appear for everyone. Do you know what I mean? I cross dress a bit on the side, but not a lot, nowhere near where I used to. And then I met another girl who basically sort of did the same as the first one, had a child. Um, this child turned out not to be mine. She's ripped my parents off for loads of money. So the relationship between me and my parents was always going to be jaded because of that. And then moved forward a few years. Right, so I'm 51 now, just over 51. At 50, I realised I can't live this life anymore. It's just ridiculous. So I took it on myself to start taking hormones. I'd been through all the psych things, so I knew I was trans inside. And I realised I could be strong enough to do this myself, and I need to do it because I can't go on living a lie. I'd overcomplicated my male side, and sort of like everything I did was overemphasized. I had to be the best at everything. I had to have the best at everything. I was lucky enough. I worked my way up. I had a good job, which I still have, thank God. And yeah, I just from that day I realized I needed to start taking hormones. So I started taking hormones. Literally took about a month to get it sorted. Yeah, and started hormones straight away. So yeah, that's how it all started, and then so that's just over like 15 months ago now. And then I told a few friends. I told my ex-store manager that was going on. I told my area manager. I told very little of my team at the time. I told two of my best friends. It's quite funny because this time last year, I had to tell a friend. Do you know what I mean? Because he started asking questions. I was DJing a festival, which we do every year. Festival called Lake Fest. So I'll be there. You can find me. Must be in the secret rave tent. Yeah, so I told him. Yeah, he was quite shocked with it. You know what I mean? There's a few people that are shocked about it. And yeah, so I'll tell you more about that in the next video. But yeah, it gets more interesting then. But what I want to do is try and help trans people, and I'm just doing a bit of the history really, and then I want to just run through a few things that I could possibly help with. It's different for me because I'm quite strong and quite outgoing. And like I said, I have an amazing job. But yeah, I'll fill you in the next video. So till next time, bye.